Today we're going to be talking about the job hiring process and what it entails at each level. Now, I'm going to give you some recommendations of books that I personally use if somebody ever asked me to write their resume. Now, I currently have my Applicant To Hired Masterclass for free, meaning you don't need to pay for it. I give you the resume template. I give you exactly what employers are looking for, and you don't need to stress about trying to get a job. And I even teach you how to assess what you're good at by what have you done, how have you done it, why have you done it, what would you do different, or how did you improve in that particular skill, ability over time. So I highly recommend you check it out. It's going to be on Udemy. I'll have the link down in the description. It's the Applicant To Hired Masterclass, Hacking the Job Hunt. It's absolutely free. You're saving about $200 on this course. And in the meantime that you're doing that, don't forget to subscribe. So when it comes to assessing your skills, you don't need to pay for a resume writer because all you're paying is someone else to give you certainty that you're going to get the job that you want. A while back, there was this one lady who had asked me to write her resume, and she said, well, they said that they're going to substitute my work experience for a master's degree. And I said, are you sure? Because I don't want to take your money. And I want to be honest with you. I don't want to take your money if you don't have that certainty. She says, yes, yes, yes. I just need to rewrite my resume. I don't know what they want. I'm like, okay. So for about 4 hours, her and I are literally talking about what she's done, how she's done it, and we got a lot of value out of her job, but the only problem was that when she finally submitted the resume, at the end of the day, she ended up not getting the job because they did not substitute her work experience for her for that master's degree qualification, which was total bullshit, but that is exactly how it is with HR. They're very political and they're too prim and proper. I find that it's bullshit because some people are more than capable for a job, but then what's preventing them is a $60,000 degree. If you want to learn how to write a resume, I do highly recommend, if you haven't picked up the book of resumes, I'll post a link down in the description of the resume services that Tarleton offers, just so you can get some further insight, but I prefer actual hard copy books. Who doesn't? The second thing that you're going to want to do is get the perfect phrases for resumes. Now, when it comes to phrasing, I literally have a 2-minute video on how to phrase stuff together. You want to be able to sound eloquent. You want to sound prim and proper, knowing that you put words together that sound compelling. And in a way, it's almost the sister to copywriting. How do you sell with words? And that's one of the things that college doesn't teach you, especially in a book like this. There's just not enough, there's not enough leeway. With the perfect phrases for resumes, you're getting different avenues of what other resumes should look like and in different industries. So if you're an accountant, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, if you're a lawyer, if you're a financial manager, this gives you stuff tailored to your position. So imagine the book of resumes, but with much more scientific insight. Now, another book that I highly recommend, and I ended up copying this for a steal at Half Price Books. So I highly recommend that to check out Half Price Books online or in store, because you're going to get a lot of books at a really high discount. The reason why I like this book is that it's broken down into a simple, stupid format. And especially if you're about to graduate, tips for college students and recent grads for writing a superior resume and securing an interview. Now that's the easy part. These two books are the easy part. I can write whatever I want into that resume from your work history that will get you that job. But the question is that I can only get you so far, because what comes out of your mouth when you're in the interview room is really going to determine if you get that job. And when you're in the interview room, it's a negotiation. Understand that it's a negotiation and you are negotiating for a deal. So, again, I highly recommend you pick up these two books along with the free Applicant To Hired Masterclass. You'll be able to get much further insight. And again, you get all the resume, everything's laid out for you. You just got to put things together to your needs. When it comes to getting the job, there are two books that I highly recommend that you pick up. Also, understand that everything's open-ended in an interview room, meaning that everything's up for grabs. And you have to know when to walk away. And one of the things that I learned was when it comes to interview rooms and you're negotiating and all that good stuff, you want to pick up these two books, 101 Toughest Interview Questions and 60 Seconds That You're Hired. The 60 Seconds That You're Hired is essentially what is the process of speaking in an interview room. The way I can explain it to you is that an interview is broken up into 3 segments. If you have an interview room in 15 minutes or less, you're done. You're not a candidate. They're not going to waste any more time. You just showed up as a formality. If you get an interview for 30 minutes, you are okay. You're an okay candidate. If you get an interview for 45 minutes, you're an excellent candidate, meaning that there's competition. And it doesn't matter whether you're the first, second, or third candidate. It's all about the time invested into that. Because you have to understand that when you're applying for a job, everybody's time is valuable, especially to the person that's interviewing room. So you want to have like a podcast interview, the stuff that you see on Impact Theory, the podcast. You need that 45 minutes to an hour. If you get an hour or more in an interview room, you are 99.9% going to get hired. Especially if you just gone through 6 people and you just saw them come in and come out, come in, come out. You are a high candidate and you have exactly what they want. At that point, it's your job to follow up, right? And when they present the negotiated salary, make sure that it's what you want or it's negotiable. If they say non-negotiable, then you're going to have to make a judgment call for your career of, can I work up to that, or am I set in stone that that's the only salary that I'm ever going to get? When it comes to these 2 books, you're going to learn different ways to think in terms of interview rooms and how the process should take itself. Because you always want to present some value, you always want to ask questions, you always want to follow up, all that good stuff. The last book that I highly recommend that you get, and again, you could get these all for less than $30, and they're going to teach you much more than they ever did in college, is Effective Immediately, How to Fit In, Stand Out, and Move Up at Your First Real Job. A lot of people think that just because they get the job, then that they're secured. What they don't know is that what I learned in HR courses and while I was going to grad school for HR was that there's a thing called the probationary period. There's also a thing called labor relations, and then there's also a thing called at-will states. If you're an at-will state, meaning you don't have tenure, well, the problem is that in Texas, you can be fired for any reason or no reason at all for the most part. Or if you are in a state that has labor unions, well, then you have to realize, like, can I pay into the union, or am I obligated to pay in the union? Is a union going to be there for me? That kind of stuff. So there's a lot that goes into that, as well as the employment law, right? You have sexual harassment stuff. You have, discrimination laws, all that good stuff. Effective Immediately is going to teach you on how you can succeed in your new job, or maybe in a new job in a different industry, or whatever the case may be. So when it comes to your probationary period, it's generally, it could be anywhere from 30 to 120 days, which 120 is a little bit extensive. There's some probationary periods that last 6 months. I know when I was in corporate America, I had 6 months probation, which was ridiculous. But nonetheless, you have to understand that some small businesses don't have training and development programs. Other major corporations do. So you have to realize, what do you need to know once you're in that job? How do you keep that job, and how do you move up? Because the last thing you want is to get a job and you're going through it and then you just completely tank because you're like, this wasn't what I expected. WTF? What do I do now? So as a recap, I highly recommend, 1, to pick up the Applicant To Hired Masterclass, because I teach you exactly what you need to know about before you apply, when you're in the interview process, and also once you get that job, what are they looking for? And really, it's all to the soft skills. But at this point, if you haven't picked any of these books up, I highly recommend them. It's Effective Immediately, Perfect Phrases for Resumes, 101 Toughest Interview Questions, 60 Seconds and You're Hired, and Resumes That Stand Out. I'll go ahead and put all those in the link of the description. And guys, if you have any questions that you're stuck at, or maybe you're just really going through life right now and you have no idea where to take your career, or maybe you're burning out from your current career position, let me know in the comment section. Hit me up. I'm always here. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, again, you know where to find me. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I am now on Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Tumblr. Don't forget to like, love, share this video, leave a comment. Until next time, guys, stay tuned. Take care.